Hello, welcome to Dog Hugs. Geraldine, great to see you.
Hi, Larry. Hi, Spider. Hi, everybody out there. Of course, Spider has something to say to me. He misses me.
He sure does. He's really looking forward to seeing you in person someday.
Yes, very soon, hopefully.
Hopefully, yeah. You know what? He's been doing so well lately. I'm going to get him started instead of today on his busy box. Today, I have a stuffed dog toy that's been stuffed with some food and kibble, all kinds of good stuff. And he is super excited. Ready?
We call them summer popsicles. You can freeze them with all kinds of great things. I love them because they cool down any overheated dog, or really any dog, summertime, because they wear a fur coat, right? And also, you can cool down a teething dog with them. So they're wonderful for cooling down a dog's teeth or their gums when their new teeth are coming in. For Spider, they're awesome to keep him busy.
Oh boy, yeah, he loves, yeah, froze that up and he is just going to town on it. He is
That's
really
fantastic.
having a good time there. Yeah,
Oh, he's in
he
play
loves
bow.
that. Yeah.
Oh, so
That is sweet.
cute.
Yeah.
So sweet. That
Well,
means he's really comfortable and feels very safe.
nice. So how's the summer weather out there, Geraldine?
I need a popsicle right now. Well, an adult, I'm an adult popsicle.
Some
Right?
mommy water, huh?
Yeah, it is hot and humid, and it rained cats and dogs today. I saw them, and I think some small children too, because it was just coming down. And which makes for a Geraldine to have a very humid, allergy-ridden, environment.
Yeah.
Not so good for my sinuses, for my system, my immune system. I have terrible allergy responses, so I'm either taking medication or not, depending on what's going on here with our weather. Yeah. How about yours there
Well, here in Los Angeles, it's hot. Our humidity, is going in the swimming pool or going to the beach. That's if
Right.
you want some humidity, that's what you do here. So, and that said, I grew up with hay fever. So rolling in the grass, would make me break out in hives and sneeze. And still nowadays, I'll get some pollen reactions.
Same
So,
here. And
yeah.
that didn't matter where I lived, in Los Angeles, in Las Vegas, or here in Kansas. I've had reactions at every place I've lived from similar or different plants. So, or bugs, mosquito bites,
Bugs.
bee stings, or food additives. So crazy. Isn't it crazy?
It is crazy. Yeah. Well, shall we just you know what? First, we want to share with the folks the supermodel of the week.
Get all primped up and send in your pet's pictures so you can be part of the Supermodel of the Week contest every week.
And if you haven't seen this yet, folks, here are this week's finalists and winners.
We think they're all winners, so it's really hard to choose. Thank goodness you choose instead of us.
Yeah.
Because if we had to choose, oh, look at Nova.
It's true.
So
These are all chosen by you guys.
So thanks for participating. We really love your opinion of who is the cutest, although they're all oh,
Reggie and Sausage.
And thank you all your finalists, to the finalists, and the winner is,
oh boy,
drum roll,
Bella.
Bella, yay!
Bravo,
oh, so sweet.
Bella.
Look at that face.
Yeah.
Just precious.
Yes. So just,
and it's really interesting that puppy, or, well, myself included, older, can still suffer from different types of allergies regardless of where you live or what you do.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a really, really good point, that the allergens that we have they're all around, that they impact us, and dogs are walking around barefoot impacts them even more.
Oh, absolutely. And people, a client will say, I don't know what's going on with my pet, and I'll be able to sense when I walk in that there's probably an allergy situation going on based off of some behaviors.
Yeah.
that sometimes are similar to my own. But there's a difference between being intolerant to something and having an allergy.
That is so interesting. You taught me that distinction. I thought it was all lumped in together, but distinguish for us the difference between intolerance and an allergy.
And the reason why it's important to understand this is manyfold, but when we're talking about behavior and your animal's undergoing an immune system attack, of course they're going to have some poor behavior. It's highly possible. But when they have an intolerance, it might just be a temporary. So we'll go straight into the distinction between the two. An intolerance is when, say, you an allergen's introduced into your system in some fashion, whether that be from inhaling it, cut grass, something pollen, or you've eaten something, so a food or a food additive, and you have a little response. So it's similar to an allergy response, but it's not an attack. It doesn't last long. It's shorter in duration, similar, not as intense, and your body doesn't elicit the same immune response or go to war against it as harshly because it has it under control very quickly, generally. Yes. Then you skip over to an allergy attack, which is same scenario. An allergen's been introduced, but your immune system goes haywire and actually attacks it. An example of a small intolerance might be a gluten intolerance. Maybe you had a cookie that day and get a little tummy ache or felt a little weird, different than normal. You have an allergy attack, you get stung by a bee or a wasp, and you go into full anaphylactic shock where you're swollen and your immune system has just gone haywire to the point where it's putting you into a state of shock.
A dangerous medical situation.
I had that happen with one of my pets once. I had entrusted some people to watch one of my pets for me. At the time, they didn't watch him properly, and when I got home, his face was swollen to the point where he was barely breathing. And he had gone to the rosemary bush, and I'm not sure if you have a lot of those around you, but they're beautiful and they smell wonderful, but they're filled with bees.
They attract bees. They repel mosquitoes. They attract bees.
So he got stung in the face. Fortunately, I got him on some Benadryl as I rushed him to the emergency animal veterinarian.
You knew that
immediately
it was from a bee sting. Wow.
His lips were swollen. His face was swollen. He was breathing very labored in his breathing, and I knew that this had overtaken his system, and I needed to get some Benadryl or some type of antihistamine in him immediately as I got him to the emergency vet and called them to let them know we were on our way.
So bee stings is a common allergen. Other insects, pollen, what are the common allergens?
So you've named most, and I can go through a list of even other ones like wheat for some dogs or soy for some pets.
Yes.
My chipper was allergic to salmon.
Yes.
Could not tolerate salmon or sweet potato. I don't know what he had against orange, but he just didn't like orange foods.
So often, sweet potato is even recommended as a hypoallergenic for many dogs.
Not for my hypoallergenic dog. So many things. Some dogs are allergic to coconut oil. I know there are a lot of people out there touting the benefits of coconut oil, but if your dog is allergic to that, you're actually shortening their life, harming their immune system.
Absolutely.
It's time to find a new oil.
Yes.
You can even go into fleas. Some dogs are allergic to flea bites, other insects that they are exposed to, tick bites, to the point where it does damage their system.
I can relate to that. I'm actually impacted by mosquito bites pretty dramatically. It just really puffs up big for me.
I think we're just too sweet.
Yeah.
So going back to other examples, there are some items in your, some of the things that you have that you use on a daily basis might be lotions and toothpaste and different things that have items in there that are either deadly or will be allergic to. So being very mindful of what you're giving your pet at all times and what he has access or she has access to at all times is a must. But what do you do if your pet has an allergy or even an intolerance? How do you figure it out? How do you know?
That is a great question.
So
You
we'll give
got
some
an answer.
examples. We'll give some examples, but if we're missing something today, definitely reach out and ask us, because there are so much in this that's involved in this category that I'm certain I'm going to miss something,
Please, yeah, please
including
do,
chemical
folks.
allergies,
Oh,
including chemical
excellent
allergies.
point.
And an example is they make a vitamin E oil for most pet foods it's not a natural vitamin E oil, it's actually synthetic.
Yeah.
And that's a chemical that most dogs are allergic to. So being
that's
able
a
to
mistake.
being able to figure that out, that your pet might just have an allergy to that, and you can switch to a food that doesn't have that, could be it could be that much of a culprit. And it tends to be in recent years that I've watched allergies go from horrible to manageable through therapies that I enlist with a veterinarian or suggest, or we give them full blood work and have to do what I call take everything away and reintroduce to figure out what the allergen is, depending on the situation.
That's typically done. That's often done with animals as well as with humans. I've heard of that kind of protocol with humans.
Correct.
Got it.
Which is what I did for myself in the early stages of me figuring out I had a gluten intolerance.
Yeah.
And there are some symptoms with gluten intolerance besides just a stomach ache. And when all the symptoms were there, I was like, that's it. So I kept that out of my diet and then reintroduced it after X number of days of healing my system. And boom, there was that reaction again.
It got you, and then you were able to say, I'm pretty certain it's this.
Correct. You can do the same with your pets. First of all, know thyself and know thy pet. So if you know your pet's reactions, you can tell when they act a little differently. Yeah. You also can tell after you've fed them something if they react a little differently.
You know, I don't know that I'm that observant yet. What are the things that I might be looking for?
So there are a few. However, the best way to notice is try the same thing. This is kind of a simplistic way. Ask your dog to do a certain behavior. Maybe it's lay down, and maybe they won't lay down that day after they have something that they have an allergy to because their system's fatigued or frustrated, or maybe they're laying down more. Maybe you catch them laying down way more than they used to. Maybe they're sitting in your lap more often than normal. And I know that might sound weird, but I have a terrier mix who, when he sits in his lap, my lap, and looks at me, I know something's wrong. He's trying to communicate with me.
You know, that's really interesting. I can recall when, Spider had a bug and he was doing more of the lean, than usual.
So they communicate with you that they just don't feel good. So I noticed also swelling. So you're going to look for swelling. It's a sting that's local. But if they have something going on, they might have swelling through their wither or their shoulder area. Or you can feel it as you feel their body. It doesn't feel like they gained weight. It just feels kind of soft and squishy. So that tells me there's a little war going on. There's a little inflammation going on. And inflammation is a protective mechanism in our body. So that's one way. Are they drinking a lot of water? Are they not drinking any water? Are they peeing a lot? Are they hardly peeing at all? There's really there is a pattern there, and you can notice a difference in the pattern. I try to correlate. Did they pee a lot after they had too much salt in something that they got into and then drank a lot and then peed a lot? So understanding, and that's where the management of their schedule helps.
That makes a lot of sense. I know that I can be more aware of those kinds of things if I have a specific list like that. That will really help me to be aware, to feel my dog more often, to brush him on a more regular schedule. And, he fortunately now does like touch. Spider in the beginning used to not like any kind of touch at all. And he was very reactive. And now, he really invites it, enjoys that.
That's such a great success story.
Yeah,
he's a little hero.
He is a little hero. He's doing real well. He's got his toy is just chowing away.
It's taking a lot longer than the busy box because he has to work so hard just to hold it still.
Yes. Yeah.
which is great. So there are some things to help with allergies, and we're going to go into more of how to manage those because I've had to manage quite a few with quite a few customers. But the bottom line is to figure out that it's an allergy first. Figure out that, or an intolerance. Now that we kind of know the difference between the two, and then finding out what it is by managing a schedule and managing what you're giving them. And you have to actually get everybody on board with you. You need your family's buy-in if you have an allergy situation going on, because you can't have, Fido not feeling well and then the nanny feeding Fido a bunch of bacon and a bunch of stuff in the morning because she wants Fido to like her. And then we can't figure out why Fido's so fat. Like, it's like no one else is doing it. So this is where we, knowing what the schedule is and being able to have some control around what's going in, that's where your key is going to be.
Yes. So what are some symptoms?
Oh, there are many and they're varied. However, they're usually telltale. There's a difference between certain symptoms. Like an example, a dog could scratch because of allergy terribly, but it can also scratch because it's nervous or it doesn't know how to respond to you yet, so it's stalling. So knowing the difference between scratches is important. But if they're chewing, they're usually chewing because there's either something on them that they want to get off, or there's a disease process, an allergy reaction going on, a yeast buildup or something in that area that's a symptom of an allergy attack that they're trying to get out. So they're biting. And they'll go incessantly, and you have to do something to cool that down. It's very hot. If they have hot spots, that can typically be an allergy. Not always, but there are certain things that will express themselves through their metabolism, and they'll warm up when the immune system's kicking in. Also, drippy eyes, lots of wax buildup, lots of, I always know something's wrong if their breath smells weird, like something's just not right in their system, because, we are all biochemical experiments, right? And something can change at any moment, and it depends on what you're putting in, because the building blocks you put in are what changes some of that chemistry. So, if it's something smells funny, there's usually an allergy involved, or a disease process, or there's, maybe they need their teeth brushed, and there's lots of little items there. But your dog. If you know your dog, I know when my dog comes up to me and smells funny and has eaten something different, and I'm like, ooh, that doesn't agree with their system, because it really shouldn't be that smelly.
Or
they
loss
can have
of appetite.
Yes, they'll sleep too much, not sleep enough, not eat anything, eat too much, won't go to the bathroom because their system's clamped down because the stress that's going on with the little allergy war going on, sometimes their digestion will stop. Being very clingy,
Yes, I've
not being
definitely
clingy
seen
at
that
all.
in Spider. Yes,
Hiding.
Yeah. So
Chewing.
So developing a baseline understanding of where our dogs are, and then any changes from that baseline to either more or less than normal.
Yes, definitely. And allergies will shorten their life if we don't manage them.
So Geraldine, now that we've identified these allergens, what can we do to help our dogs?
Well, immediately you could give your dog a nice, soothing, cool bath.
Oh, yeah.
I'm certain that this war that's going on inside of them is raising their body temperature. And as you know, dogs have a little higher body temperature than us naturally. So you might want to find maybe an oatmeal bath, some kind of soothing bath. Nice. You can look up online some different recipes for soothing baths. I'd love to put some chamomile tea or something your pet's not allergic to in the water, and just give them a nice soak for 10 minutes to calm them down.
Even though Spider hates the bath, he loves having been bathed. He always feels so much better afterwards.
They do, don't they?
Yeah.
Especially if they're having an allergy reaction. That's why that's a great fix to begin. As long as you don't have any, chewing where there's open sores, then we'll help you with another solution. If it's just a simple allergy attack, that's a really great way to help begin the cooling down process and less anxiety, because anxiety just spikes the symptoms.
Excellent. And I know in a future show, we're going to also share some other remedies and products.
Yes, we have quite a few tips and tricks to share and quite a few ways to assist you in a very efficient way to get to the answer.
Fantastic. Well, on to shelter shout out.
So I'll start.
Yes.
My shelter shout out, and I think someone else is present, is for the orphans. Again, we are so thrilled that they do so much to help pets that are returned and to retrain, to rehome them, because it's really important that they have their behavioral side worked with and their trick side worked with, and Pet Orphans has got it going on.
Yeah,
so thank you.
I can't wait to be back working with them, to making films with shelter dogs, training them, because the single biggest reason the shelter dogs don't get adopted is lack of training. And this crazy idea of mine, what if we trained shelter dogs like movie dogs? Here's a film that we made at Pet Orphans. Actually, this one's for Valentine's Day, but this is a
every day's Valentine's Day.
That's right. All right, enjoy this one here. Here we go. Well, let's see.
Oh, no one wants to be alone on Valentine's Day.
This is
or any
Darby
day.
Walker. She was a contestant on NBC's The Voice.
Darby, I want her to sing to the dog.
Yeah.
Oh, it's so cute. Forever love.
And all these dogs got adopted right away.
Of course they did.
It was so much fun immersing them in this animated world.
With love and lickies.
And that was, right, that film shoot was monitored by the American Humane Association's Film and TV unit. You know, there no animals were harmed, and we got the no animals were harmed certification by their trained safety animal monitors.
So
safety
fantastic.
monitors for animal actors.
Fantastic.
Gratitude, blessings. Who's on your heart today?
So I have a lot of gratitude for all of my clients that have suffered through pet allergies with me and have been successful. They have stuck it out, and some of them were not easy. And so I'm just so grateful for them and their tenacity and their ability to actually open their vision and see, oh, I totally understand it now. Now I see, like, they've learned so much through that, and even empowered themselves through their own choices. So I'm very grateful for them. It's not an easy road to hoe.
Beautiful. Well, similarly, my gratitude, my blessing goes to the whole veterinary staff, where at Sherman Oaks Veterinary Hospital, and really everywhere. You know, vet techs everywhere. You know, when Spider first got adopted, my veterinarian needed 3 technicians just to examine him. Now we perform dog tricks in the waiting room. So bravo to those vet techs.
Bravo. It's a hard job because pets can't tell them what's going on. How can they? They have to learn to read the symptoms, just like with allergies and intolerances.
Yes. Well, thank you to all of you for joining in with Dog Hugs, and we look forward to seeing you again tomorrow.
Absolutely. And make sure you enter your pets in our Supermodel of the Week contest.